guys, welcome back to my channel, and today is Sunday, May the 6th, and we're going to continue on with my little autobiography and tell another little short story today. So I think we left off with John and I were living in Freeport, Texas. Of course, we were living in sin according to my family, because I had divorced little Scotty and remarried a man who was divorced. So they read to me out of the Bible where I was living in sin. So I got real confused and real depressed. And it just got to where I could barely even function. I started having panic attacks, and, I could barely make it into work and everything. And something that I am very ashamed to admit is that I called little Scotty and asked him to forgive me. And I told him that I had gotten saved, and he goes, "You don't know who God is, girl." And then he hung up on me. But I just felt like, I was just so confused. Nobody told me that, all I had to do was ask God to forgive me for my sins. I just thought that I was going to be living in sin as long as I stayed married to John. So I started making arrangements to leave and divorce John and move back to Mississippi and, go back to working and just live the rest of my life unmarried, I guess. So anyway, I was really debating on what to do. And then that spring in May, I found out that I was pregnant. So that just changed everything. I knew then, because I was pregnant, that I was not going to leave John. So I did get better. I did, after I got pregnant, I think I was able to settle my mind down a little bit in my heart, and we were going to church, and I was trying real hard to get everything, settled in my mind about being remarried and this living in sin and everything. But y'all have to remember, I was raised Southern Baptist, and back then they just preached hellfire and damnation. I mean, I was never told that, you can ask God to forgive you of your sins. It was just always, if you sin, you're going to go to hell. One of the Baptist preachers there at Hickory Grove, he used to say, if you commit sin, you're going to go to hell as sure as a martin's going to his gourd. But anyway, John and I, we just, started our lives together. And so y'all, let's keep up with how many times Glenda Merle has moved in her life. So, okay, I moved from Dorton and Lamar's into the marriage dormitory there when I married little Scotty. And then when I divorced little Scotty, I moved into my own apartment there in Hattiesburg. And then when I married John, we moved into an apartment complex in Freeport, Texas. So I moved in with Scotty, got my own apartment, moved in with John in an apartment complex. And then we moved, the one year that we were living in Freeport, Texas, we moved from there into a duplex. So that's 4 times. And then he got a job transfer back to Mississippi. So then we moved into an apartment complex there in Biloxi, Mississippi, called Royal Arms Apartments. And by the time we got there, it was going into the fall and the winter. And then my son was due in February of 1973. So then about the time that I was about to deliver Jason, we moved from the 1-bedroom apartment into a 2-bedroom. So that's 6 times. So that's what we're up to now. But anyway, this is me in about January, when I was like 8 months pregnant with Jason. And this is me with Dorton Lamar when I was pregnant. And this is the day that I was in labor. It snowed that day. This is February the 9th, 1973. And I went into labor during the night. And Jason was born on February the 10th, 1973. And this is me and John at Christmas when I was pregnant there. And this is me breastfeeding the baby. This is Jason Leigh Sullivan, and I spell his middle name Leigh after the actress Vivian Leigh. I just think it's a beautiful way to spell Leigh. And this is me and little Jason. He was like a 5-pound bag of sugar. He weighed 5 pounds and 14 ounces. He was so tiny, y'all. And I had such a hard time with him. Lamar brought Dort to come help me. And when they got there, he told me that I was going to have to pay Dort. And I said, you can just take her right back home because I ain't going to pay my mother to do something that a mother is supposed to do. So he did. She went back home with him. So then John called his mother to come help me. So the doctor of divinity brought her and dropped her off. And I'll be damned if I didn't have to wait on her. I was in the kitchen cooking and taking care of her. And then by then I had been, back then you stayed in the hospital about 3 days. And then I had gotten home and was home 2 or 3 days. And so the bathroom was dirty. And I remember being in the bathroom on my knees scrubbing the bathtub. And she came in there and said, oh, I can do that. And I said, oh, don't worry about it. I got it. So I told John, I said, you call your dad to come get her. I ain't going to be waiting on her. So I had a real hard time. I was trying to breastfeed Jason. Of course, he was my firstborn. And when Daddy did bring Mother and she saw me breastfeeding him, she goes, why do you want to breastfeed that baby? You know, that's just the way she talked. She always had this nasty way of saying things. You know, if she was concerned about me breastfeeding him, why didn't she just say, is there a reason that you want to breastfeed the baby? You know, I guess that's why I'm just the opposite with my voice and my tone of voice, is because I never wanted to sound like her. But anyway, Jason, he brought so much joy and happiness into my life. And it was actually John's twin brother, Jimmy, who he and his wife lived in the same apartment complex as us. And he's the one that actually came over and helped me with the new baby. So we just started on our lives together, and mentally I was doing a lot better. I was just so happy to be a mother. So anyway, we'll just pick up Wednesday and see what all we can get into. And I just wanted to tell you that my plans for my channel, I'll probably bounce around a little bit as far as the chronological order of, my stories. I did work as a nanny here in New Jersey. I worked for a physician's family, and his children were friends with the John Bon Jovi children and with Bruce Springsteen's children. So one day we'll ride out there and I'll show you the house that I used to live in and nanny the children. And I'll take you to John Bon Jovi's French chateau there on the river in Red Bank, New Jersey. So that's my plan, and y'all just keep on coming back. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want to share my videos to your Facebook friends, I would love that, and I would love to have some new subscribers. Thanks, guys. Bye.